We're going to continue working on our monochromatic facial features, this time with noses. So you can see this one that I did up here in the corner, just a quick sketch of one using monochromatic blue. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through how to do this. We start with the button part of the nose, the ball of the nose, this part right here. So just make a shape that represents that like an egg. And then we're going to make a V under it. The V represents the place between your nostrils. I'm just kind of marking here with like a really wide kind of M shape, and that kind of shows me where I can put in the nostrils. This space that's the plane under the nose. When I draw the nostrils, they're not just circles, they're like commas kind of turned on their side. Then I'm going to make the skin on the outside of the nostril, and here you're seeing both the side plane as well as the bottom plane. I'm going up making the bridge of the nose and the glabella and the area where the eyebrows would go in, just so you can kind of see how it would fit. Now, shading is the most important part. This part that's under the nose obviously would be the darkest. So I'm not shading too dark yet. I'm using kind of mid pencil pressure here to get a good value in. I'm imagining that the light is on the other side of the nose, so it'll be darker on this side. So I'm just shading this side a little bit darker first, but I will put some shadow over here. Your nose does stick off your face, and we want to imply that. Switched it, I'm getting my darker tone to go in here. Inside the nostrils is going to be the darkest value. So I'm going to go ahead into that area and start to put in the dark value of the inside of the nostril. You know, right under the nose and in that little space between the nostrils, that part's going to be dark too because it is blocked by the top part of the nose. Not a lot of light is going to get there. So I'm shading into that area as well. Where the nostril skin meets the side of the face would be dark, and then also right here in that crease between where the nostril meets the ball of the nose, you want to put some shadow there. It would cast a shadow, the nose would cast a shadow onto the skin, so you can put a little bit of shading there too. We're going to talk more about that when we do the lips and the mouth though. Okay, I switched and I got a little bit different blue here. You can either continue to work with what you had before or the darker color. Just think about pencil pressure. And I'm going in and I'm remembering to shade with the contour and the curve of the nose. So especially right here around the ball of the nose, I would shade into the curve. You want that part that's the bottom plane under the nose to be pretty dark. Okay. Notice how I'm constantly switching between the tones, really kind of trying to think about where I need the darker values, where I need the lighter values, but thinking about the planes too. The plane of the underside of the nose would definitely be the darkest area, so I'm continuing to go in here and add value. You know, a lot of times when we're drawing something, we think we're done. Like you might think you're done here, but to be honest, this would take a lot more gradation and working with the changes of value to really enhance this. Notice how I've gotten my really light tone of blue here, and I'm adding some of that. Kind of balancing it back and forth. This is like it just takes time as you build up these layers of value, and it takes your own judgment. You kind of have to like spend time kind of, you know, look back at it, pause, see where it needs more value to make it look more 3D. All right, I'm adding a little bit more on the side planes of the nose here, even the one that is kind of got the light on it. I don't want to make it as dark as the other side, but I do want to give it some value. And then I am going to use my white to just add in a little bit of highlight here to give it like a little bit of a pop of where the light might be touching the nose. I can also use my white to kind of blend my lighter side. Remember that, colored pencils are meant for layering. Don't be afraid to go over the same area multiple times and build up a range of values. This is the part where I would just go back and refine and continue to touch up and, look at it and think about where I think it needs a little bit more, remembering the contour, remembering the curve. Now, if I wanted to do different shapes of noses, a lot of the different shapes kind of just start with what shape that ball of the nose is. So, some people will have more of a teardrop, some people will have more, here it's more like a triangular shape. So I'm just kind of quickly going to show you like the difference and how you get different looks to the nose. Some people will have larger nostrils, thinner nostrils. Some people will have a bridge that's different. So I'm really quickly just sketching in a few different shapes here so you can just kind of see it. I'm not going to go into the depth of adding complete layers of value in each of these, but I want to see you to see how you get different looks to the nose just based on that ball of the nose. Like this one, if the person's got kind of a wider nose and maybe like a smaller area here for the nostril, it might look a little bit more like this. This is like a button nose. You might hear this person has a button nose. So each person's nose, if you look at that ball area and you notice the width of the nostrils, it changes. And so not everybody's going to have the same one that we drew as an example together. So I just wanted you to see that as you are learning to draw noses, this method will work even with different shapes. Most people forget that underside where the nostrils are, and you can see that part in most angles. So that's why we sketched it this way. So I just wanted to give you an example. And so you can see this wider set button nose is a little bit different than the one that we drew together, but it just gives you an idea of where to start. Okay. So what I want you to do now is maybe take a picture of your own nose, maybe look up your favorite actor, actress, musician's nose and look at the shape of the ball of their nose and see if you can draw their nose.